welcome to a video. I don't really know what to call it, but it's a video, so yeah. So anyway, as some of you may know, I mainly do gaming content and stuff like that, but today I'm going to be doing some sort of a tech thing. But let me just give you a little heads up. I'm a tech nut. I love technology. I love how technology has grown over the past, even like the past couple years. Like technology has grown a little bit, and just to compare it to originally and stuff like that, and just to see how far everything has come from us going from digital to like film and stuff like that. I was just like so energetic about everything. So today I'm going to be comparing the two microphones that I used in my setup originally when I started recording, which is the one that I'm going to be using from here on out. You may have heard it in my my Get Even playthrough, but this one's actually really cool, and I love it to bits. So, the first microphone, I have no idea what it was called, but this is the microphone that I originally used. Pros and cons of this. The pro is that it's actually very small. No, it's not a joke. It's actually extremely small. This whole thing, in comparison to most other microphones, is pretty small. But to get it even smaller, that's it. That's the whole microphone right there. And I know it looks big on the camera, but that is my hand in comparison to the microphone. That is a tiny microphone. You could literally just plug this whole thing into your computer, and that's it. That's your microphone. It'll pick up the sound and it'll send it to the computer. I don't like it to use it like this for the sheer fact that having it sticking into your laptop or wherever, it can't pick up sound as effectively as you think it can. It can pick up a little bit of sound if you're further away from it, but like even from this distance, I'm pretty sure it would not pick up as good as you might think. Which is why I like this thing, which it comes with, by the way. So you can plug it into here, into the top, and then you plug it in via this. And that might be one of the only cons, is that you have to have this super long cord here. Especially if you have like a tiny setup desk like mine, you don't need this extremely long cord to be plugged into anything really in particular. It just seems to be there for a thing. But a positive about it is that it doesn't really take up anything kind of essential, because you're just using one jack for this, and then that, and this is the whole rest of it, which is kind of cool. I like it because if you heard in my original videos, it didn't pick up as much sound as my newer microphone, which I actually had to set up. This thing ran without drivers or anything for some of the original content that I originally made, and you can clearly hear me, and you can clearly hear the sound for the most part. Some of the things that I did for some of the videos to improve it, or at least attempt to improve it with just this, was that since it had like this kind of setup here with like this long arm here, what I would do is I wear a pair of headphones almost all the time when I wear a pair of headphones almost all the time when I'm actually doing it. So I would stick it into the headphones kind of like this, and just have it like near my mouth, kind of like that, where I would have the microphone here, or it would be like here, and it would be like near my mouth, so this way you could hear me more clearly, and it would pick up the sound a bit more effectively than that. And that's where the long cord came in as well, because it would go like wrap around my computer or whatever, because I work off of a laptop for now. But while that was good, I eventually saw that this wasn't as good as I originally intended it to be, especially for recording. But if you're really just starting out and you don't have a lot of money to really start out on, I would definitely recommend getting this, or something along the lines of equivalent to this. Because this is a good starting microphone if you really want to get stuff done or whatever. So yeah. Enough about this microphone. That microphone, whatever. The new microphone I'm using is this one. I have to back up. Make it a little bit. Hold on a second. Just a second. There we go. Much better. So yeah, the new microphone that I'm using is a Blue Snowball microphone, which is really cool. The actual microphone itself in comparison to everything else. Just to takes a bit. That's the microphone right there. That is literally the microphone. Again, comparison to my hand, it's literally my palm. But for what you get, it's actually really cool. Apparently, this is an omnidirectional microphone, kind of, but it has different settings on the back. There's like a switch on the back. If you can hear that. But yeah, it has 3 modes. The one mode that I use is like a mode that just allows the sound to be captured from the front of the microphone. There's a sound for like most of the microphone, kind of like all around it, and then there's like a sound for like that's omnidirectional where it goes all around the microphone. And it could literally be from anywhere, and anyone could. It would pick up everything. But that's kind of the biggest con with this. It's a good microphone. It's studio quality, but to me, the way that without any drivers or any sort of software to like do anything about it, if you heard in my videos on Get Even, it's very much so that a lot of the stuff that I used did not work. I had no software at all either, so it was just me being very loud, and you can barely hear the game, if at all. But luckily, I did have subtitles on. I normally love to play with subtitles on because I love watching those gameplays with subtitles on. And sometimes it can be hard to hear certain things without the subtitles. So yeah, but yeah, that's the whole microphone, and it comes. So basically, as I said, this is where you set the stuff. Those little switches right above the plug. This is what plugs into whatever you're using. So yeah, it plugs into whatever you're using, and that's the plug for the output. If you would just give me a second. Give me a second here. Okay. Anyway. So yeah, and then at the bottom you have the place where you screw into the microphone. What's interesting about this is that I didn't realize this at first, but it's like on a ball axis, kind of, where if you have something screwed in, or if you want to, you could kind of slightly move it, like slightly up, slightly down. It doesn't have a full range of like a good motion because it's a ball, but it has enough motion to where you can get to a certain point that it'll pick up your voice rather easily, even from like this distance. But yeah, that's not all that this came with. It came with a little tripod mount for it as well, which I kind of like. I really do. It's super stable. Because of, well, it's a tripod. It can adjust to different heights, maximum, minimum, and stuff. And how you would do that is this thing here. You unscrew it a little bit, and you just get it loose enough so you can move it up and down. So yeah, that's pretty cool. You can also completely unscrew it, but I wouldn't recommend. You can also one of the interesting things about this is, I guess, you can completely unscrew it and have like a little. I don't know why you would need to do this, but yeah, you just like screw it back on. I didn't break it or anything, but yeah. So yeah, I mainly try to keep it at the maximum height or whatever. This thing also can turn something, but whatever. And what's interesting also about this is that you can actually set it from a couple different heights. This is kind of the lowest height here, with like this. That's the lowest that the microphone can go on the stand. Of course, it can go lower, like just from like just being itself, but I don't like to use that. But how I like to use it is just like this, and have it at the maximum height, and then screw on this on the top, which I will actually do now. But yeah, I would screw it on like this, and you screw it, and like I said, you screw it on, and you can kind of slightly move it up and down a little bit. But I like to keep it kind of facing towards me, not towards my mouth, mainly, and I keep it at the maximum height. But you can go higher by slightly moving these down here, just only slightly. And as long as you get it kind of equal, you can kind of get it like that. You can also get it like that, where it leans all the way back and it has like a big axle. That's actually really good. I might want to use it like that or something like that. Yeah, but I don't have a pop filter, which is upsetting. But whatever. So what's the differences about this? Well, so what's the good parts about each of these? Well, like I said before, the pros of this is that it's a studio quality microphone. It has noise canceling technology, and it also comes with its own cord, which is USB powered. So yeah, USB powered, more power to use it, and stuff like that. So now let's get to the pros and cons of each. Pro of this one, it's small, compact, portable, very easy to maneuver. Whereas this one is easy to, again, its footprint is big. But again, I would say that this one has a bigger footprint than this one in comparison to the bottom, pretty much. But you can shrink the footprint since these are adjustable only slightly to a usable standpoint. So if you have a cluttered desk, you might want to get one with a smaller footprint, or just adjust the footprint. This one's studio quality. This one's okay quality. It does have a lot of noise canceling technology without any software needed. This one you might need actual software in order to get it to work like good enough without like the hissing or whatever in the background. But again, it is possible. There's a lot of free good software that you can get with this, and you can probably learn it in like, I literally learned it in like a day, and I tested it out on a later recording, and I'm like, this is actually really good. To get it to a point where it works effectively, and I can hear both me and the thing kind of at an even level, which is good, and it works. And with the drivers and software and everything correctly installed, this can work just as good as this originally worked without any software or anything like that. But again, if you don't want to get any of that software and stuff, which you more or less probably should have, try and get this one, or just use this one for a time and then figure out how to use the software. Again, very easy software. Some of it is free and stuff like that. Pro of this one is that it doesn't take up for like a USB port, but again, with that you get a lower quality. Whereas this one takes up a USB port, but you get a higher quality. So again, pros and cons with that in tow. So again, which one would I recommend? It's mainly about your personal preference and stuff like that. If you are not a big software engineer or a big software guy, or you have limited space on your computer, probably get this smaller mic here, or find something equivalent to it. While yes, it is of a lesser quality than the Blue Snowball microphone, this microphone still will serve you well. It still will serve you great. It served me great for a long time. I used it for, again, like I said, a couple years. And especially if you have like a desktop, where this one has like a pretty long cord. You can plug it into like the back, the front, or anything like that. And it's got a super long cord. This cord's nothing to sneeze at, but again, this cord's pretty much nothing to sneeze at. But again, I just feel that this one just feels like slightly longer, but only slightly. And it is like, again, $10. So you could easily get a microphone like this for $10. But the Blue Snowball is $50. You can get an Ice, which is $40, or you can get the Yeti, which is like $100 or so, or a much bigger price than this. Again, quality over cost, so the more costly it is, the more better it is. I bought the Blue Snowball because I feel that this is a better mic that for the right price, and again, fixing it and making it sound great can be a little bit of a chore, but once you figure it out, you can easily get everything to work very properly, very effectively, and working together at a very nice volume where everything works kind of quintessentially. And again, it's all software based once you get the hardware, but you can easily fix its problems. So, do I recommend the Blue Snowball? Absolutely. Do I recommend this one? Absolutely. Neither of these are bad. Neither of these are particularly good. I'm kind of neutral on both of them. But if I would say, if you were to get a good microphone, a good studio quality microphone, that for a nice cheap price, definitely get the Blue Snowball in tow. Definitely 100%. I would probably choose this one over this one, and not just because I paid for this one. That was not because it's more expensive, but because it just sounds better, and it can. And again, once you learn the ins and outs of like audio and visual stuff, to learn it all, you can basically make it sound absolutely 100% fabulous. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. and a piece off.